the back half, gents, let's take it out of this country and talk about something which is happening elsewhere, but it alludes to direct foreign interference into our own electoral system. Increase voter turnout or ensure he's not there, as I would quote unquote Donald Trump. So where do you stand on this entire USAID $21 million business?
Look, it's a big charge. It's a big allegation that's been made first by Doge and Elon Musk. He found the monies that were going. And now Mr. Trump has sort of echoed that by saying, you know, what do they need this money for? What is this whole business of increasing voter turnout in India? Maybe they didn't want Modi, they wanted somebody else. So that's a big charge that he's made. But I think, look, there are two parts to this. One is, who did this money go to? Who were the recipients of this money? That is something that the Indian government has to investigate. And the Indian government has to come out and say, okay, these guys got the money. This was for legitimate purposes and this is for not so legitimate purposes. Now, look, it's entirely possible, for example, when this whole revelation came to light, Mr. Qureshi, who was the chief election commissioner at that time, put it out there on Twitter saying that, look, we did have an MOU signed with IFES, and he put out a copy of the MOU and he said there was no monetary arrangement, there was no monetary transactions between IFES and the Election Commission of India. Now, if anybody can prove to the contrary, they should put it out there in the public domain. As Rahul keeps saying, the best disinfectant is sunlight. So let the light come in, let us know where this money went. But that cannot be done at the behest of Doge, or that cannot be done by the White House. That has to be done by the government of India. The government of India has to put out those names, and if they feel there are suspicious transactions, what is this whole voter turnout business? It's the government of India that needs to, open the window and let the sunlight in.
Another former CEC who presided over the 2019 elections, Om Prakash Rawat, he said that the money would have come into one account. That account is in New Delhi. So figure out where did the money come and where did the money go, and if it is coming once in 5 years, 180 odd crores to run these affairs and to these interfaces for an NGO is par for course.
So I need a clarification. Is this 180 crore part of the monies that was supposed to have gone to the EC? I don't think so.
No.
So what I'm saying is,
it's not gone to the EC. It's not gone to the EC.
Because now I'll be a little impolitic. Why are you not a YouTuber? Why are you not a YouTuber? Why am I not a YouTuber? Because we know that we don't have an ecosystem that is going to boost our views and our likes. That doesn't come cheap, my dear friend. A lot of the people that we think are the founts of all knowledge who come from nowhere, right, have an ecosystem backing them. Even ex-journalists who have left the profession saying that it's not the profession they signed up to now.
It's not as independent as it was.
It's not as independent
anymore.
And we're doing independent. There is an ecosystem that is supporting them, that pushes their content, and it's on both sides. I'm not saying that it's only on one side. It's on both sides. So I think this business first about independent, what have views, influencers, etc. Let's start taking that with a pinch of salt. So let's park that aside. Yeah. I mean, again, I said this is my view. No one has to agree with it. But secondly, the most important thing for me is that, we say that the government has to come out with the details, but we'll have to actually and we'll have to do this, and we'll have to now test Mr. Trump. Because he's made an insinuation. He speaks quite a few things very openly. Will they give us access, right, to the money flows?
No.
Why will they give the money flows? Because the money's come to India. Now the money flow has to come from IFES.
One second. I'll tell you. Because you will have to investigate. You will have to look at where the money is coming from. And these are now trans-border payments, right? So you will have to ask them.
I agree, but
when that money was sanctioned to USAID, and
USAID has passed it. See, SEPS has passed that money on to IFES.
Yeah.
So IFES is a registered NGO in our country.
Yeah.
Right. The money has come into their account.
Who did they give that to?
Yeah, that's a local investigation.
We have to investigate.
Yeah, that's a local investigation.
And apparently, someone has ghosted somebody, right?
Yeah.
Most of these people have suddenly gone completely silent.
They're all ghosting each other.
So all I'm saying is that you'll have to pick up the thread somewhere.
Correct.
Right. Now, there has to be some amount of...
No, but here's the thing.
Also, can I ask one basic question? Like, all right, this whole revelation, the fact that it came into the public domain was because of Elon Musk and then Mr. Trump sort of echoing that. But are you telling me government did not know that so much money was coming in for quote-unquote voter turnout? See, I mean, surely somebody in government would have known. Why should it take a Donald Trump to shine the light on that?
Somebody should have flagged this, that an NGO has received so much of money for running their affairs in 5 years. What is this NGO doing? One. Secondly, you have an FCRA rule which actually stops NGOs from getting this money. So a lot of NGOs, what they've done is they've incorporated themselves and they become foreign companies, and they're now still getting that money.
But
the other thing,
No,
so
but you're saying that, okay, we must investigate. All you can do actually.
The numbers are here.
See, the problem is that we have to make a distinction here. There's no crime. Okay, if I'm getting money to put out a view, and I'm not, suggesting that we bring down the state or anything. If I'm saying that X politician is not living up to his promises or her promises, I'm fundamentally doing my job as a whistleblower, as an independent journalist. So you can't criminalize that. You can't say that.
No, but if you are being paid by a foreign entity to ensure that you destabilize a ruling elected leader and an elected government,
I'll flip that.
Then where is the grey line there?
One second. I have some data here. This is for the calendar year of 2024, right? Mr. Modi's government. The total disbursement of USAID funding in the calendar year 2024 is $151 million. That's a lot of money. Admittedly, a lot of this has gone into health, into education. So, for example, the TB program in India, USAID contributes a big deal of amount into that. The AIDS program in India, again, USAID contributes a lot into that. $6.72 million out of this 150 million went for promoting democracy, human rights, and governance. Now, please tell me, does the government not know who is getting the $6.72 million? Who are the recipients? And why should you need to? Why should you need to? One second. Why do you need to promote democracy, human rights, and governance? I mean, what isn't that a flaw? I mean, are we okay with getting lectured from the West or from USAID about how to run democracy? Don't we have the largest democracy in the world?
See, that's...
you're talking about money going into government coffers.
No, 6.72 million has gone for promoting democracy, human rights and governance.
To where?
He's come to India. And to who it has gone, the government of India has to shine the light on.
There are a lot of people who believe, I'm not saying it's true or not, I'm just saying a lot of people do believe that democracy is backsliding in India, and a lesson needs to be imparted to... one second. Let me just finish.
It's their belief.
Okay, go on. Make a point.
On what basis? See, the government can only put out a list of recipients. They can't do much more.
One second.
Should it be Donald Trump and Elon Musk who will put out that list, or should it be our government that's going to put out that list? It's got to be GOI.
My issue is also, Rahul, this is like a classic case of having your cake and eating it too, right? The government has been complaining ad nauseum for the last, at least certainly for the last couple of years, that look, all of these Western publications, New York Times and Washington Post, they have an agenda, democratic backsliding. What do you mean by democratic backsliding? We are the world's largest democracy, so on and so forth. But this 6.72 million, which has come ostensibly to promote democracy, human rights and governance, you have allowed this money to come into India.
6.72 million.
You can't complain on the one hand. It's about you can't on the one hand complain saying democratic backsliding is a propaganda, but we are allowing $6 million to promote human rights and democracy in this country.
There is
what is the intent? And
one second. Even in media companies, 27% or 26%, whatever it is, and I think they've raised it now. There is room for investment.
That's FDI.
That's FDI. That is money. That is an investment. This is an aid that's being given, and like I said, we are all on the same page on the fact that we need to know who the recipients are. But as we wind up, the fact is that the details of to whom this money went,
the government has to tell us. But my point is,
so let's not drag it.
Are we? See, now I'm just saying, are we moving towards a kind of McCarthyism? Look. You can have a problem with dirty money coming in. Yes, that is illegal, question it. But if someone has received it, let's say there's some legacy journalist who's received this money to promote whatever it is that a crime?
No, but then you can't say it's foreign interference, right?
You can claim anything. You can claim anything. It's free speech.
One minute. There are 2-3 aspects. Where do you draw the line and where do the lines get blurred? I'm going to wind up on that for the viewers also to take a call on this.
There's no free lunch.
Is somebody getting paid to sit here and drive an agenda to badmouth and create a false perception of an elected leader and a person? And in that, and 1 minute, let me complete. And in that process, while they're doing it, they're not only going after this person, but they're also hurting the cause of the country. Now, that's where the lines get blurred. That's where the lines get blurred. That's where the lines get blurred. But the onus of putting this list out, I think, comes back into our own government. And let's hope that happens sooner than later. Till then, until next time. Thank you, gents. Thank you.